Hello Taurus, how are you? It's me, Lauren B. Welcome back to the Untitled Tarot via the Magical Forest. We are very happy to have you, me and my woodland friends. I have done your spread with 3 oracle decks, the Queen of the Moon Oracle, the Everyday Witch Oracle, which we very, very rarely use here, and the Spirit Animal Oracle. So we're gonna get into it. We have a little work to do, Taurus, but it's not much. Your reading was not nearly as long-winded as Sagittarius is. You guys need just a little bit of a check-in. So here we are, checking in. So your first general energies that you have out fire magic in reverse, and then you have out rebirth and rejuvenation in reverse, and then you have out learn from life upright. So what I'm seeing here, Taurus, is that you might be in a state where I feel as though there's like a fire burnt out. There's it's I don't want to go as far as to say like exhaustion, or it's like a burning the candle at both ends kind of energy. Like you've been burning the candle at both ends, and there's a sense that it feels as though you think you're taking breaks like to recharge your batteries, but it might not be as much of a recharge as you actually need. You know, it's kind of like, instead of letting your phone like die and charging it up to 100%, you let it get to 20% and then you charge it up to like 65%, and then it gets to 30% and then you charge it up to like 85%. It's never like letting it get fully charged. It's almost like you're never letting yourself get fully drained, but you're never letting yourself get fully charged as well. It's just burning the candle from both ends kind of thing. And that there's a need to kind of with the learn from life, there is the obvious like learn from your lessons, yes, but I'm almost in a sense of like learn from all of the times that you've done this, from times that you've overextended yourself, right? And kind of how that played out in a collateral way for you after the fact. And it's also I'm getting a needing to know when to ask for help when you need it. I'm getting that too. There's a following your instincts kind of aspect to this too, which is like, it's like learn from the past, like the times where you had a feeling where it was like you were draining yourself a little bit, or you were giving too much, or you were overextending yourself and you didn't listen to that. That's like, remember, like it's like a body trigger. Remember your physical triggers that you have when you're starting to drain yourself too low. And then you have out meditation for peace and serenity, and imagine and envision. Right, so this is what I feel like you're trying to do, Taurus. It's like you're trying to be playful and to be creative and to enjoy yourself, right? To dream a little dream, and you're also trying to stay balanced and keep the peace. There's a very social aspect here to your reading, where you're trying to keep the peace with other people. And you know, maybe you're burning the candle, but maybe there's also some kind of like activity, some kind of chaos, or there's something going on around you too, that it almost feels like you're trying to bubble yourself a little bit from it. Like it's a little bit of a shield, of a guard kind of energy. Maybe you're not realizing how much your extenuating circumstances are actually draining you. Maybe because this is water, emotionally draining you, right? It might be like physically you're like laying down, taking breaks or whatever it is, but emotionally it's like you're not getting that full cup feeling, because you're not realizing that emotionally. It's like maybe your body's not like sore or tired or anything, but it's like you're not realizing how emotionally drained you are. And normally there are physical triggers for that. They might be different physical manifestations than if you say we're physically tired, right? As opposed if you were just like really stressed, or if you went on a hike or something and then it's like, ow, my body hurts, right? Or I'm not sleeping enough, so my body's tired, or I'm not eating right, so like I don't feel my best. It's like the emotional draining that you have is going to have a different physical trigger for you than your normal physical trigger drainings that you have, if that was proper English. So it might be something for you to look into, because it might manifest in a different way than you're expecting, so you might not be realizing that you're draining that battery so much. And then you have transformation and change. You have that out in reverse. And then you have out healing waters, and you have out seasonal harvest in reverse. So again, I'm coming back to this learn from life, Taurus, that there is a big sense here that it seems in the past there have been times that you didn't realize that you were overextending, or there's almost like an assumption. I'm getting like an expectation or an assumption energy, like almost just like assuming people will like do as much as you're doing for you that you would do for them. Like it's like this reciprocity kind of thing, or expecting people to like be a little bit on your level emotionally. There's an aspect of that, and that might be why you're feeling emotionally drained, because you might be trying to commune with people on a certain level and they don't seem to be on that frequency, whether it's, you know, they're a lot more negative than you, or they just don't think this, or they're just maybe more combative in the way they like to conversate. There's something in that you need to kind of look back and realize times that you like drained yourself trying to meet eye to eye with someone, right? And times when that wasn't going to happen. Like you weren't able to have this harvest, right? You weren't able to have transformation and change, because there's a sense that it's like almost you're not I'm getting a sense like you're not realizing or understanding the severity of how individualistic everybody's journeys are, and like how long it may take a person to get to a certain place like of emotional intelligence or expression, or the ability to communicate their needs or their feelings in like a constructive way that actually creates something that you can harvest, right? Something that creates a transformation in a situation or in a relationship. And it's almost like you like having to almost like cleanse yourself, wash yourself of like that burden, right? And it comes out directly underneath the rebirth and this regeneration. It's almost like you can lead a horse to water, Taurus, but you can't make them drink. You know what I mean? Like, even if you've got the right idea, it's like you're driving yourself like crazy or exhausting yourself emotionally, trying to get people to be on the same emotional level as you. And it's like they're not there yet, or they might not ever be, or maybe they will be someday. But it's like almost like you have to learn a little bit that it's like the only thing that you can control is yourself. And you can't control how other people are growing or evolving, right? And the process of doing so is actually going to be more of a detriment to you than a help to the other party. There's a lot in that for you. And then in your strengths, you have out hunger in reverse. Then you have out the path in reverse. And then you have out fruition in reverse. And these are all in your strengths, which is super interesting. But I actually think that you have a good ability of like knowing when to turn in a bad hand, right? Like knowing when something's like a bad egg, when something isn't going to come to fruition, that like being able to identify like, okay, no, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel like I'm on my right path. This doesn't feel like anything's going to come from this situation. Like, okay, I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to reroute. I'm going to reassess. So that does seem to be a strength of yours, but it feels very like Pentacles. It feels very kind of like Wands. Like it feels very like a tangible, being able like logically in your mind, like, yes, of course I can see like cause and effect. Like I'm putting this in, I'm not getting this out. Obviously it's not going to work. Like, okay, like not my path, not my person, not my problem, whatever. But in your weaknesses, you have out beauty. That's card number 20. That's a 2. That's about balance, right? And then you have out sovereignty in reverse. And then you have out gratitude. So it's really interesting. In your weaknesses, it's almost as though, even though you know something is a bad hand, or nothing fruitful is going to come out of it, or it's like almost like not even worth the fight or the energy to like overinvest yourself in this situation, there's an emotional aspect of you, right? And Taurus, like people think earth signs really aren't that emotive, aren't that emotional, because they're usually so grounded. But I mean, I think Taurus, I think like hearth and home, I think like Hestia, like there's a lot of love energy that goes into that it's despite your ability to see that something isn't going to work out, there's like an emotional attachment that you have to things, or you have to people, or you have to like a situation that makes it hard for you to like release control of it. It's almost like it feels as though, Taurus, like you are assuming a potentiality onto a person, onto a place, onto a situation. Like, well, it should be like this. Well, like they should be like that. Like I'm trying my best to do my part over here. Like they should be doing that over there. And like you could be right, but at the same time, and like you realize that they're not, but it's almost like assuming potentiality on behalf of someone else, and when it's not really your place, right? It's almost like trying to, and part of it, it's like, it's sweet. It's like you try to see the beauty in all people. Like you're trying to see the potential in this situation, in this person. Like, I know it can be better. I know we can do better. I know they can do better, but it's like not your better to do. It's like that other party's. It's that other person's. It's that other job. Like it's their part to evolve and to grow and to challenge themselves and to change. And just because you see that it is possible in them, like you see that potential in them, doesn't necessarily mean that they see that in themselves, right? And you can't, and with this sovereignty first, it's telling me that there's like you get like this disappointment feeling when it's like you're hoping that they're going to change, or you're hoping the situation's going to get better, even though you know like nothing, like it can't fill the hunger, it can't fill the need of this situation to keep you on your path, to be within the right path, to grow and to be fertile, right? And speaking of fertility, there was a little rabbit, a little bunny rabbit that was hopping when I was doing your pre-shuffle. So, you know, I'm gonna take that as further confirmation. And it's almost like that lack of ability to be outside far enough of a person or a situation to see that they're not there, they're just not there yet, whether they will be or they will never be. That it's giving you a sense of disappointment, and that's affecting your ability to have gratitude, right? And an attitude of gratitude brings abundance for us. So that is something to look at in your weaknesses, is projecting a potentiality onto a person. Whoa! Holy shit. Whoa, they didn't like that. Somebody did not like that. No, they didn't. Wow, I'm pretty sure that happened at 11:11. Wow, life comes at you fast, folks. Seriously, you guys, I know you guys like the nature videos, but I'm just saying, sometimes I feel like fucking Crocodile Dundee out here. Anyway. The bad juju energy did not like me saying that. Yeah, you're projecting a potentiality that somebody could do better or be better, and it's part of you trying to have like a glass half full, but if anything, it's just draining your cup from the bottom, and it's affecting your ability to feel like true gratitude for the things that you do already have, things that are already working out, because it's like you're a little bit focused on the stuff that isn't growing, isn't evolving, isn't changing because you think it should, and maybe you're right, but it doesn't mean that it's their problem, it's their business, it's whatever it is, you know? So moving on. Wow, it's like adventure. Wow, the adrenaline. All right. Jesus Christ, Taurus. So next out, we have frog spirit, clear out the clutter, and scarab beetle spirit. Magic works through you. So this is a little bit about you, Taurus, having to kind of stop for a second and like take a little bit more of like an assessment on yourself, right? It's like, are you giving yourself enough room to make mistakes and to learn and to fail and to try again? And right, because if you're not letting that, if you're expecting like perfection, it feels like that, almost like you're expecting like perfection from yourself, which is maybe why you're burning the candles at both ends, kind of like, look, see, I can do it all, I can handle it all, I can be balanced, I can do that. But in reality, it's like you really need like a bubble bath and like to chill out for a little bit and recharge your emotional battery, not your physical battery necessarily, like not your mental battery necessarily, but your emotional battery, right? If you kind of having to go in and do that for yourself, so that way you can appreciate someone else's need to have to do that a little bit better. And in doing that, you're gonna allow that flow. You're gonna allow that magic, that manifestation, that attitude of gratitude brings abundance. It's gonna start flowing from you better, right? And then 44, Panther spirit and Butterfly spirit, 2 master numbers together. Reclaim your power and transformation is beautiful, right? I'm almost like very drawn to this coming out of the butterfly. It's almost like draining, it's like draining out like the dirty water from your cup, or like draining out the stress, like draining out anything that you can't control or change, or times that you've been too hard on yourself, or you haven't allowed beating yourself up over making mistakes or whatever that is, right? Really kind of transforming that by coming back into control of how you're feeling, right? Managing expectations as well as from others. And then you have out the moth spirit, surrender now. You have it out in reverse, which I'm pretty sure is what just came flying at my face. And then you have, or it was a wasp spirit, sometimes life stings. And it's like, surrender now, but you actually have it in reverse. So it's almost like, I'm getting the sense of, you know, people say like, just let it go, I'm almost getting a sense of like, don't let it go, but don't let it go just yet. Like actually hold on to this moment that is stinging right now, that's bothering you, because you need to examine why and what you can do about it and what your boundaries are and how it's affecting you emotionally and mentally and physically. So that way you can really, really learn. So that way in the future, you can keep doing what you have to be doing and not feel like you're kind of getting emotionally like sucker punched every time like these little disappointments come in because other people aren't acting or participating or evolving or growing in the way that you would like them to, right? And I understand that, but it takes a long time to get to a place where you can realize when you're projecting potentiality onto someone else, as opposed to just like letting them fly or fail or fall or you know, fumble, whatever it is that they have to do on their own journey, right? So it's actually like, hold on to that a little bit, because once you do that, you're going to be able to see all of those ways that it maybe has been draining you. Maybe it's been overextending, you've been overextending yourself, right? And where's your accountability in this? And when you figure out what that is, your accountability, your responsibility, and how you are hurting yourself in that way by having expectations and assumptions on other people's growth, you will be able to really reclaim that power for yourself and transform. And then the magic can work through you after you kind of clear out all of that stuff, right? It's almost like clear out the clutter. It's like letting the clutter like go, so that way your butterfly, your transformation can ascend. And we're going to do that by, you have give love and you have speak your mind, and you actually have them out in reverse. And it kind of goes back to your strengths for me of knowing, like, once you know something is a done deal, when you know that something is a dud, when you know it's a bad egg, when you know it's like not fertile, right? Little bunny, when you know it's not fertile, it's almost like stop with it. It's like, don't say anything. Don't speak to the other party, to the other person, to the job, like whatever it is, and express like your disappointment necessarily. Just, it's almost like, just realize like what you can change and what you can't change, and kind of like leave the rest to fall. Like, hold it, figure it out why it's bothering you, right? We do that self-reflection so we can clear out our own shit, and then leave them to it. It's almost like, don't even worry about it. Don't fight with these people. Don't overly stress yourself out. Don't let them emotionally drain you. It's almost like, don't pour, right? It's like your cup is already drained, and it's like you're trying to pour love or nurturing or emotion into something or someone, hoping that it will inspire a change in them, right? And it's not. So it's like, save that love, save that water, save that cup, and use it, right, to pour over yourself. Use it for a little self-love right now, so that way you can fill your emotional cup. So that way when this stuff happens, it doesn't drain you so immediately and then leave you in a feeling of disappointment, right? Or emotional exhaustion, when all you're really looking for is peace and serenity, right? And then you have meditation to dig deep, and you have resistance. So this is what we need to do. It's like, you need to, like I said, stop. When you go in to clear out this clutter, this is how you're going to do it. You're going to dig in a little bit, right? Those amethysts, use your intuition, right? Be loyal to your character, to your heart, what you know, what you need, and also be loyal to the truth, ways that you've put assumptions on people, or you've expected maybe too much, or whatever the case may be for you, right? And it's like, fight, how do I say this? It's like, fight through your own, it's not about them, is like what I'm getting. It's like, it's not really not about them, it's about you. And it's like ways that you've fought your own growth, the ways that you've fought your own evolution, ways that you've avoided having to take a step back or having to take a step forward, depends on the situation, right? But really having to dig in deep and figure out like why you wouldn't allow this for yourself, ways that you're resisting your own growth by not allowing other people the space to do theirs, even if it's like messy and chaotic and it's collateral damage for other people, right? But it's regardless of that, how is what you're doing having an impact on your fruition, on your path, on your ability to fill and meet your own needs, right? We have to dig in and we have to find that out. How are we resisting our own growth, and how are we, it's almost like making it harder for other people to find growth. It's almost like when somebody tells you to do something and it makes you not want to do it, even more than you already didn't want to do it to begin with. You know, it's like if you're a smoker and somebody's like, you should stop smoking, and you're like, I'll smoke too now. That's kind of the feeling. It's like ways that not only are you resisting your own growth and evolution, but ways in which you're projecting it onto others, and it's almost making them double down on not wanting to grow and change and be a part of this process because it feels forced on them, or like it wasn't their choice, or, you know, it's as within, so without. So it's very reflective. Like what you are seeing in your environment is actually a reflection back to you on ways that you're not giving yourself emotional room and space. There's something in that for you, Taurus. So I love you. I love you very much. I hope you're doing well. It seems like you're doing well. You just need to, seems like you're just getting a little disappointed because people they're not working the program, right? But they might be on a whole other program in another class and we don't even know about it, right? So we need to check back in with ourselves and dig deep, figure out how we're stopping our own peace and serenity from flowing freely through us, right? But you're a Taurus. That's a light day's work for you, right? So thank you guys so much. I hope that you enjoyed this. All my information is in the description box. I'm sorry about the freak attack. Such is life. Such is life. But I hope you're doing well. Thank you all so much for being here. I will see you next time, Taurus. Be gentle with yourselves. Bye-bye.